Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chosen Wisdom. Smash the like, turn on your notifications and subscribe below before we begin, because we have something very interesting today. Anthony Martial has done an interview, I believe, in French, in France, with a French journalist potentially, or a French newspaper, and this interview has blown up all over the internet, all over Twitter. Martial has a lot to say. There's a lot of quotes, a lot of very interesting, very juicy stuff that Martial has said today, and we are going to get into it. We are going to talk about the quotes, what they mean, the background behind the quotes. He said a lot of things that we actually need to talk about today, guys. So there's a lot to talk about today. He said a lot of stuff about Solskjaer, about Mourinho, about the way he's been treated by the media, his injuries. My Lord. I'm reading this stuff. For me, before I start and say anything else, I want to say that I love Martial. Martial is my baller. My baller. Yeah. Whenever the media, this disgusting xenophobic media, pounce on this guy, I'm always the first to defend him. If you understand anything about football, and if you're a United fan, you will know, regardless of how you feel about Martial, he is one of our most important players. He's one of our better players, and the way he has been treated by some of the media over the last 4 or 5 years, compared to some other players as well, has been nothing short of disgraceful. Pogba got it worse, but Martial has got it really bad. He's lazy, he's this, he's whatever. You don't know the guy, you don't know. Unless you have his running stats, unless you know how much he runs, you can't call him lazy just by looking at his face and looking at his body language. Don't Berbatov this guy. Don't Berbatov him, right? Anyway, I have the interview, or at least some parts of the interview. I have some of his quotes in front of me, guys, and we are going to get into it. As you can see, I am quite passionate about Martial. As I said before, he is one of my favorite footballers. The way he plays with no fear, his flair, his directness, he is just so good. And if he just stayed fit, guys, if this guy stayed fit, we would see a different baller, but he is always injured. And now we get to understand why. So let's go into some of the stuff he has said. So now he starts off talking about Jose, and to be honest, I'm not that bothered about Jose. Jose was 3-4 years ago. He's long gone now. I think Oli is a bit more relevant, but even Oli is not as relevant because we got Ten Hag now. But it's important to understand this guy because Martial doesn't do interviews. And that's one of the reasons why he's not liked. We don't know what he's like. He's not British, first and foremost. He doesn't speak to the British media. So the British media can make up and say what they want about him because he's not going to come out. When I look at Martial, I see an introverted individual. I see somebody who's insular. I see somebody who needs maybe an arm around his shoulder. And, to be liked and to be loved, I can see that sort of individual, and everyone's different. Fergie was the master of identifying different personalities in the dressing room and treating them differently. Nani got treated differently to Rooney. Nani couldn't handle certain things and Rooney could. Nani needed an arm around him. Ronaldo needed a father figure. Everyone's different, and you need to understand the players and what motivates them. Football is not just black and white, but let's get into it. So I'm reading from the Metro. It's been hard to get quotes directly from the French newspaper or the French journalist. It's going to be in France. Sorry, it's going to be in French anyway, and it's difficult to get those quotes, but we have some quotes here. Okay. It started with the story of the shirt number, Martial told France Football. During the holidays, Mourinho sent me a message to ask if I want to change to number 11, explaining to me that it is great because it is worn by Ryan Giggs, a club legend. I tell him that I have the greatest respect for Giggs, but I prefer to keep the number 9. When I return to the club, I see my name with the number 11. The story did not end well. He lacked direct respect for me. He talked about me in the press, little phrases, a bit like he had done with Karim Benzema at Real Madrid. He likes these little games, but he also knows who he's doing it with. He knows that I'm 20 years old, that if I say something, it is I who will pass for the young person who lacks respect. So you're seeing something totally different. The times when Jose used to come out and criticize Martial and criticize these players, we are now seeing the effects of that criticism. He's coming out to the public and saying, this guy's this guy's that. Rashford, this is why Rashford can never be a forward. And all these things, you're demoralizing your players, Jose. And that's what Jose does. Whenever Jose's project starts to fail, because when Jose comes in, the first few years, it's always fine. But Jose's projects always fail. And when they start failing, he always turns on his players. Always. And I'm not saying Martial has been perfect, because Martial has been inconsistent. But when you read this stuff, he feels disrespected. He's a young man brought into the club, promised certain things. Those things have been given away. He wasn't told why. He didn't have a conversation with Jose. He can't speak out, because if he speaks out, like he said, the media will pounce on him and say how he's disrespectful. He should be quiet, accept this and accept that. Footballers can't speak about anything apart from saying we lost the game or we won the game and we'll go again. Because if the footballer comes out of that remit, we criticize him. And another thing I always realize is that we can criticize the club all we like as fans. But whenever the footballer who plays for the club, who knows the ins and out of the club, who speak to the people, who speak to John Murtals and Ed Woodwards, the people who know the tea lady and the chefs, these footballers, when they come out and they say negative things about the club, we get angry and we get emotional and we take it out on the footballers. Oh, look at Martial coming out with these quotes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you are not the football club. When the football club gets criticised, don't always feel like it's a criticism of you as an individual, because it's not. It really isn't. But anyway, we continue. So he talks about how, Jose did the same thing to Karim Benzema. He didn't get along with Jose, clearly. I know Jose brought in Alexis, so he goes on to talk about Alexis now. So I said nothing. It was useless. The following season, I was the best in the team in the first part of the season. And I remember that season, guys. I remember Martial was flying on the left. He was doing so well. And then we bought Alexis Sanchez and we just took him out of the team. And I thought to myself, Martial has been playing well. And you've taken him out of the team for Alexis Sanchez. And Alexis Sanchez wasn't playing well at all. He wasn't. And I thought to myself, why have we done this to Martial? Why? Anyway, back to the quote. Following season, I was in the best team in the first part of the season. He brought in Alexis Sanchez and there I hardly played anymore. It's the season of the World Cup and it cost me dearly, especially since France team won. I should have been there. I said this many times. Martial is going to be upset, angry, and it's going to affect him, the fact that he didn't go to the World Cup because France won the World Cup and he should have been there. And he wasn't there because he wasn't being played. And he wasn't being played because he was crap. He wasn't being played because we bought Alexis Sanchez and Alexis Sanchez has to play. I remember that season we even tried to play Martial on the right just to accommodate Alexis. And it just wasn't working. And I felt sorry for Martial that season because he didn't do anything wrong. And there's a misconception that Martial plays badly. He doesn't Martial will play well and unfortunately get injured for 2 months, try to come back, not come back as in form straight away, because when you come back from injury, it might take a bit of time for you to get back to the form that you were in before. So when he comes back from injury, just like Rooney takes 3 months to get in, you have to play Wayne Rooney for 3 months for him to reach form. Wayne Rooney is somebody you have to keep playing and playing for him to get into his form. Martial might be the same, but we just give up on him. He plays one game, he doesn't play well that game, and we don't see him again for the next 2 games. That's not how you grow. That's not how you develop a youngster. It's not. And it's funny that I think he talks positively about LVG and about, of course, now Ten Hag. And it's funny that he plays better and gets along with technical coaches, the LVGs and the Ten Hags. I think Ten Hag is 2 Dutch coaches with a certain philosophy, a certain way of playing football, that tiki-taka type of football, that's where Martial sees himself. That's where Martial thrives alongside people like Pogba. That sort of one-touch football. Those sort of players will play well for Man City, and those are the sort of players who want to play that type of football. The counter-attacking sort of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer football and the pragmatic Jose Mourinho football does not suit someone like Martial, you know? And it's interesting that the managers that I like, the LVGs and the Ten Hags of this world, who are, like I said, you know, play progressive, play possession-based football, want to keep it on the floor, want to maintain 60, 70% possession if they can, you know, monetize possession of the ball, not just hit them on a break and counter-attack. Those managers are the managers that Martial likes the most because they get the best out of him and the way he wants to play. Simple as that. Anyway, back to the quote. So what do we have here? So yeah, it talks about the World Cup and how, you know, France won and how he was angry. And this is the important part here. I regularly played injured, he continued. People don't know it. I couldn't accelerate during the 4 months following the COVID season. The coach tells me he needs me, so I play. But given my game, if I can't accelerate, it becomes very complicated all the same. And I got set on fire, i.e. criticised by the fans. The coach never bothered to tell the media. And that is what I have a problem with, guys. Who determines which players get protected and which players don't? Why do people come out and protect Rashford? You know, say Rashford is injured, that's why he's not playing well. All of these excuses for some players, while other players are just crap. They're not playing well. No one does any PR with those other players. No one comes out with positive PR to help those other players. No one from the club comes out. And that's what Martial is saying. And I've always said this. Martial's probably sitting at home saying, why does Gary Neville and all the ex-Man United players and Man United Football Club always come out and protect the Maguires? You know, Maguire went to prison in Greece and we did a whole interview afterwards explaining what happened. Protection. Rashford, protection. Sure, protection. When it comes to Pogba and Martial, Pogba's dancing. Let's write a front page news about Pogba dancing. Pogba's got blonde hair. Let's write a whole back page news about Pogba's blonde hair. Martial looks upset. Let's talk about how he's upset and how he's lazy. No protection, bruv. No protection. I want you guys to answer that question. Who determines who gets protected from the club, not from the club, by the club, and who doesn't? Why do some players get protected and some players don't? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why that's why also Martial decided to go on loan. That Oli season, the last season, the season just gone, right? Where it was our worst season ever, where Ronaldo started up front. That Ronaldo that everybody loves, absolutely loves, led our team to 6th, yeah? Despite the fact he scored 18 goals and all you guys can love the goals he scored, he did not make us play well. We do not play well with Ronaldo. We do not as a football team. We play better football with Martial. That's not open to debate anymore. You can see that with your eyes. And he decided to leave and go on loan to Sevilla before the season even started because he had enough. And we defend Rashford and we talk about Rashford's back and all these things. Martial has been playing with an injury for a long time and he played injured. And all he ever gets is criticism after criticism while other players get praised for playing through the injury. All he is saying, just like Pogba said, where is my protection? Where's the protection for the black foreign players? And to be honest, it's not always just the black foreign players. It's the foreign players in general. Sometimes I see Bruno and Ronaldo get certain criticism that they shouldn't really get. But, you know, that's my little passionate rant about this whole situation. Anyway, the last quote I have for you guys goes like this. Obviously, I ended up getting injured for good, and when I came back, finished, I didn't play anymore. I took it very badly. I had a feeling of injustice. You are asked to sacrifice yourself for the team, and behind the scenes, you are dismissed. For me, it's almost treachery. That's all I hate. I can be blamed, but not for being fake. And also, the more you read, the more you start to get a personality of the guy. I've always said Martial comes across as an introvert, as somebody who keeps himself to himself, doesn't speak. You know, there's clowns in the dressing room. He's not a clown. He does his job, and he goes home. There's a lot of people like that. I can be very introverted sometimes. I like my own space. It's fine. It's okay to have different personalities. Not everyone wants to slam the floor and bang the floor when they miss a shot. Not everyone is CR7. CR7 cries every time he misses. Not everyone is like that. People are all different. And stop forcing people to be like other people. Just because he doesn't smile, just because he looks serious, just because he has his shoulders like this and he walks around sort of like with a languid style, doesn't mean he's lazy. If you don't know how much distance the guy covers, then don't call him lazy. Unless you've got the distance he's covered. Unless you know he covered 10K or 10 miles less than his teammates, then you can call him lazy. If you don't know that, you can't call him lazy just by looking at his face and his body. That is ridiculous. And that's what the British media does all the time to this guy. Anyway, playing through injury for the team, not getting the recognition. Why is he playing through injured? What is going on with the medical staff? We've spoken about the medical staff so many times at Man United. What's happening there? I just hope that now that this is out in the open, people can appreciate the guy more. People can understand his perspective because he doesn't speak, it doesn't do interviews. I hope the United fans don't turn on him because he's saying a lot of what we all think. We need to stop turning on people who say what we think just because we don't like it, because they're saying it against our club when we're thinking the same. It doesn't make any sense. I right now feel vindicated because I've defended this guy a lot of the times. He's one of our better players. And, you know, he could have come out and said this before because Ollie was here. I'm glad he's come out and said it. I want to find out what now the Gary Nevilles and Roy Keanes say about this now, because they are the pioneers of trying to destroy this guy's career. They're always bashing him, these sort of ex-United players, always with the same rhetoric. I want to see what they say now about this guy. Like I said, it's good that Martial can come out now. He's one of our most important players. I just hope that this is not in vain. He feels comfortable now to speak about this. He's now grown. He's 25, 26. He's maturing. Now it's time for you to kick on, Martial. I've defended you a lot, and I'll keep defending you as a footballer, but I just hope now the medical team can get you back playing. Don't rush. Hopefully Ten Hag is a good coach. He doesn't start Ronaldo all the time. He tells people that unless you're match fit, you're not going to play. So I hope now with Ten Hag, we can get this guy back fit and back playing regularly. Yeah, very important interview. Very insightful. And I'm glad he's done it. He's my baller. If we look after him, because he's somebody he wants to be looked after and with an arm around his shoulder. And why not? He deserves it. He's been here for 5 years, 6 years with like 4 or 5 different managers over the time. No consistency. We want consistency from players who have no consistency in their game because every manager has a different way of playing. How can we get consistency? As fans, we just don't think about football players and the ins and outs of the football. We are very insular. Is that a right word? I think so. In the way we approach things. Because we only look at things from a fan's perspective, and that's it. Sometimes we need to look at it from a player's perspective. But good interview. I'm glad he did it. Now he needs to get back fit. Hopefully people will just be quiet about him. We've seen what we play like with him, and we've seen what United play like without him. Just stop being biased and just say what you see. Be objective. He's a good footballer, a great footballer, and one of the best players we have. Very interesting interview. What do you guys think? I feel vindicated. I'm happy for him. He said the truth. Stop playing him when he's injured. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's one of the worst managers Man United have ever had. He set the club back. And I know he finished second one season, but that league position was not correct. We did not deserve to finish second. And yes, we did finish second, but all the other teams were crap that season. It was a false narrative, a false representation of who we really were that season. And he used that to, you know, I think, get another year and a half instead of leaving. I never wanted Ollie. Ollie worked Rashford and Martial into the ground, and now it's come out that he did so. Martial is a confidence player. Clearly he's a confidence player, so I hope he gets his confidence back and he gets fit and he gets back. Anyway, that's a long video. I think I had to talk about Martial. I had to get out there and, you know, say my 2 piece or my 2 cents about the whole thing. Yeah, no football today. Maybe no football next week, but we will see. That's my take on it. What do you guys think? Are you, you know, supporting Martial? There's going to be a few people coming out saying, why is he saying this? He's been negative towards a club. Get out. There's going to be that noise. There's always going to be those people who think that way. But I'm glad he's come out. What do you guys think about everything? The quotes. I didn't get all the quotes, but I got the majority of the quotes. I'm glad I went through them I'm glad I went through them with you guys today. Just got tongue-tied there. Yeah. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Chosen Wisdom. Share the videos, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all of that. Hope you like what you hear. I'm going to react, you know, to every Man United game. I'm always going to put up a post-match reaction at least. I'm going to get more comfortable doing this. I'm going to get better doing this. The channel will grow. It will continue to grow. And we're starting something new here. What it might look like in a month's time, who knows? But yeah, thanks for the journey. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.